Book your driving lesson now at dla-driving.co.uk. Sponsored by DLA Driving School.
Hello and welcome to Owen the Town. I'm Luke Gregory and here's what's coming up today. It's another disappointing match day for Luton on Friday night as they went down 2-0 at the Kean Prince Foundation Stadium to Queen's Park Rangers. Today we discuss that defeat in more detail from what we saw of it, as we had a bit of a delay getting in. We'll have a look at that game today. And also, with 16 shots on goal, how come we couldn't find the back of the net? Do we have enough quality in the midfield to push forward and get these goals? Why are we so inconsistent at the moment? That's the questions we're asking today. And as always, I'm with Dave and Bataro. Evening, boys. How are we both?
Yeah, good evening.
Good evening, gentlemen.
It's been a busy weekend. It's been a sad weekend with some of the news that's come out over social media and club statements today. And Dave, you've also got a bit of sad news that you wanted to start the podcast with today.
So there's a lady that sits in front of us in the main enclosure who's been a lifelong Luton supporter. Sadly passed away this week. Her name is Dee Clinton. If you know her, you'll know her family, you'd know her sons. And we just want to say, you know, best wishes to Daz and Dave, and hopefully all their family can get over this. And, just sincere condolences to them both. Dee was a smashing Luton Town fan, lifelong, and she'll be missed. And
loads more sad news coming out the weekend as well, that a Luton fan sadly was bottled after the game, allegedly, and is currently fighting for his life in a coma, Brian Rourke.
Yeah, you've got to be careful what you say and what you talk about here, but you can take from the media what's happened. A young lad, 26 years old, has been arrested for attempted murder. When a guy goes to a football match, what is this world coming to? Do you go there with intent to hurt someone? I mean, there's been a lot of history of violence between Queen's Park Rangers and Luton Town. And, back in the 80s, I remember it kicking off quite a lot. And it's disgusting. It's disgusting that we can't go to a game and come out of that stadium and feel safe. So, what was the kid thinking? You just got to, your heart goes out to Brian and his family, and we just have to hope that he makes a speedy recovery. But, there was lots of things that contributed to the violence, I think. Not just past history. The police on the evening, for me, were pretty poor. And that stopped us getting in the stadium. Yeah. And there was a lot of things going on. I mean, you can only speculate what happened because we weren't there. We didn't see it. We were there, but we didn't see it. But by other people that I've spoken to who went past, saw him or helped him and tried to get the police to help him, you just got to hope that Brian pulls through this.
So the best wishes go out to Brian and obviously his family in this extremely tough time right now. And I think the Met Police, I think, are looking, if you did see anything or you have any information, please go and give them a hand.
That's the right thing to do. Don't protect anyone. If you've got any info, send it to them. Give them a call.
I mean,
it's terrible.
I was shocked when I saw it. I didn't see it till the next morning, I'll be honest, or next evening. But
I think the saddest thing is, though, you're walking away from a stadium and you don't expect to be set upon. You just don't. Who intentionally hits someone with a bottle? That's ridiculous. It's sad. And Brian's just a tiny bit younger than me. How would you feel if that happened to your family? So you just got to put your heart out there to Brian's family and Brian himself, and let's hope that there's enough evidence to convict the guy they've arrested.
That's it.
And it was a game of football that night. QPR 2, Luton 0. Let's get into some 3-word reviews of the game. Kieran says not good enough. Dave says same old story. Lewis says a playmaker needed. Andy, wasteful, inaccurate, disappointing. Paul says shooting practice Monday. Ryan says Pelly's worst game. Will says I hate QPR. Gareth says missed first 30 minutes.
Oh, welcome to our world, Gareth. So did we.
Do you know what, right? I would put Friday as one of the worst experiences an away day, or away ground, or an away game I've ever had in my life. And I put that up there with Fulham that time, and that 3-2 in the midweek where the stewards were a nightmare to deal with. But like Friday night for me, we obviously missed the first half an hour of the game because the police wouldn't let us in. We turned up to Loftus Road at about 7:25, which I think, and I think a lot of Luton fans would agree, is enough time to get into a stadium to watch a game of football. Like we turn up at Kenilworth Road with like 2 minutes to kick off. We go straight in and we see the kick off.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know what the problem was trying to get in. I don't know what the problem was. Was it their turnstiles are rubbish? I don't know.
I have no idea what happened. Basically, the police kept us all behind these horses. The stewards wouldn't let the first lot in. Yeah. And by the time we got in, it was 27, 28 minutes gone of the game. Luton were losing 1-0. And we had been in London since 4, having a great time. And I just think, got to that stage, I lost any kind of excitement or motivation. However, you're going into that ground 1-0 down, and you just think, like, I'm just annoyed. This is awful. And to pay £34 for it, I know this is just sound like a pure moaning, right? But
no, keep on moaning.
That's how frustrating it was on Friday night.
£34 is to not see 30 minutes of the game, to be over-policed outside. I genuinely don't know what was going on. But every time I've gone to that stadium, without exception, there's been issues getting in, or there's been issues around the stadium. And you can go all the way back to when they put their plastic down, and it was the same then. You know, it just frustrating. You're right. We was having a fantastic afternoon. We had something to eat, had a few beers, and you get there and you're thinking, this is going to be great.
Yeah, but you get there early
and
as well.
The funny thing is that the people that were in the lower stand didn't have those issues of getting in. It was just us in the upper stand. It made no sense. And the stewards outside and the police outside didn't have time for. The ones inside the stadium, as we went in, not so great. But the ones near my seats, they were great. So, you know, it's just, yeah, you're right. All the enjoyment was sucked out of us just waiting to get in that stadium. And it was just ridiculous.
I'll be honest, lads, I'm quite happy I didn't go Friday, obviously personal reasons. But by the sounds of it, I mean, I spoke to you I think at half time, wasn't it? And obviously when you told me that, I couldn't believe it. But, you know, look, I think it was just the whole night, wasn't it? By the sounds of it, just pure and utter shite.
Yeah.
The whole way through, and obviously, you know, the incidents as well. But, you know, look, like I said, thank God I went there.
Well, should we try and look at the game then? It's going to be difficult for me to talk about the first 30 minutes because obviously
we didn't see it.
We were stood outside looking at police and police horses and them telling us to have your tickets ready. Have my tickets ready. It's like, let me in.
Which horse was the biggest?
The big white one.
There was a big white one.
It was just like, it was ridiculous.
Apparently, we nearly made a dream start. Adebayo robbed Dunn off the ball, but he couldn't get the ball around the keeper. Wasn't in the stadium, so didn't see that.
Well, you saw that though on the telly, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. I was a bit pissed.
We need to try and uplift this now. To
be honest, mate. I mean, look,
I'm sorry. This is just becoming a very negative podcast already. Let's just talk about QPR's first goal. I saw this because you managed to get it on Sky whilst we were queuing to get in the stadium.
Let's just clarify this. We was watching it on Sky outside the stadium. They had obviously scored. There's a delay on the Sky coming to my phone. Did you hear any noise?
Didn't hear a thing.
Didn't hear a thing. It was like they was playing in a library. I suppose that's why they put that bloody music up so high. What's going on? How do we concede from our own corner? That's the annoying thing.
Really disappointing from your own corner, and then
a massive hoof downfield, pretty much, isn't it?
Do we look at Sluga for this goal?
You have to look at Sluga. If he stays on his line, he's not getting in there, is he?
I mean, there's a defender coming across, wasn't there? Was it Naismith? No, not Naismith. Who was it? Oh, I can't remember. It don't matter anyway. But yeah, like you say, obviously Sluga comes out right to the edge of his area. No need to do that. Bang, gets lobbed. What was he thinking?
Well, that's what I was saying. What's going through Sluga's head to have that rush of blood to come running out?
There was someone back covering. I can't remember who it was, but there was someone covering.
I would have thought. In hindsight, surely he does come maybe just a little bit off his line, maybe 6-yard box or whatever, penalty spot, but then he can retreat. It makes it a little bit harder to lob him at least. And if the guy's one-on-one, he's got a chance to even, you know, save a shot or even a penalty, I suppose. But Yeah, it's just a rush of blood. He should have stayed where he was. If he doesn't come out, they don't score.
Am I right in thinking there was definitely someone coming back, like running back with the
I think so.
What his name was, yeah. I mean, he might have got the goal side of him or whatever, but look.
I mean, I only watched the goal on Dave's small iPhone when it was like probably blurry and stuff because we were outside the stadium, but
it was HD.
Either way, 1-0 down,
signal,
and again, it's kind of like we are giving ourselves a mountain to climb, and going 1-0 down is. It's not like we haven't come back from 1-0 down, but it's always tougher, isn't it? And especially
when you're away.
When you're away, exactly.
I saw a bad stat the other day as well, saying we were up there as well. I think Sky put up on the TV. They put up, I think we were in the top 3 of most errors leading to goals conceded or something like that, which obviously is not a great stat. So look, we've got to try and cut these. Well, obviously, you got to try and cut these mistakes out. Why can't we? Why do we make so many errors?
So many basic errors, though. And I had a chat with producer Jacob about this earlier on the phone when I was on a dog walk, and I basically said to him, like, it was very nice, actually. It's when we have our nice little meeting about the podcast. We said, and we spoke about the attacking as well, but we'll get onto the bit. But the defending-wise, how many times on this podcast have we said this season, if we just stop conceding silly goals, like make teams work for their goals? Because it feels like there's not been many times this season where a team has completely outplayed us to score a goal. Like all of the goals you look, and I know you could say it swings around about, and we could say the same about goals we score, but like for me, I just think there's so many goals we can see that are just terrible defending, individual errors,
and they're usually important goals as well, going against us as well. Like you say, like the other day was the first goal, which sometimes can kill a team, which inevitably it did, didn't it? Really. And, well, I don't want to talk about the second goal, we'll go into that in a minute as well. That was, you know what I mean? But, look.
Teams aren't having to work hard to score goals. And it's like that Swansea game, that 3-3 at home. They have 3 lucky shots from outside the box that go in. And it's just like a team's having to work for these goals.
No, not really. Derby as well. Derby away. That mistake from Sluga. Went for his legs or whatever.
It's just frustrating, isn't it?
We could sit here all day and probably list that. Well, not all day, obviously. We won't.
But there's the issue, isn't it? Silly goals cost us so much, and if you're on the back foot from minute 10 or minute 5, it's much harder, much harder. So you're right, Luke. Absolutely right.
It was 2-0 in the 55th minute, which was kind of annoying, right? Because we come out and we hit the side netting, and then we all thought it was in.
From that stupid that £34 slightly restricted view of the goal, you could understand why we thought it had gone in.
Yeah,
stupid. I hate the stadium. I'm really sorry. I can't say anything. People who take the crap out of our stadium should go and sit in that seat every week. So yeah, I thought we'd scored.
I thought we'd scored.
If we'd have got back in that game, I think we'd have gone on and won it.
And then I probably would have enjoyed the away day.
But I think if that had gone in, that chance of ours had gone in, I think we could have gone on and won the game.
Has he got to score that, Naismith?
It hit the target at least. Hit the target. Yeah.
Their 2-0 goal.
Maybe we're being too harsh, don't I? But
yeah. Their 2-0 goal, apparently it wasn't a foul.
No, it was a foul on Bradley.
It was disgraceful, mate.
I've not seen it back, and at the time, I was a little bit drunk. So
while you're speaking, I'll say that for you.
There was a shirt pull for Bradley. Did he even get booked for that?
Yeah, he did. He got booked.
Crazy.
It was disgraceful.
Our producer Jacob put here that apparently Lockyer hit the post first, and then Naismith hit the side netting.
Did it?
Did it?
I don't remember that.
I don't remember.
Like I said, I was steaming. I can't remember. This is such a bad podcast tonight.
This is terrible today, isn't it?
It's a moan. Listen. Let's. The reason that we're upset is we went to a game with high expectations of performing well, and it was taken away from us. I don't
think it's just that. I just think it was just you go to a game and you expect to see it from start to finish with the amount of money you're paying.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. You go there with high expectations. You're having a great day out. And then you miss the first 30 minutes because of the incompetence of the Metropolitan Police and the stewards and Queen's Park Rangers have something to do with that.
And hopefully the other 1,600 Luton fans in that top tier of us will agree and understand what we're talking about.
There was clearly some in there quite early, but there was a lot in the queue waiting to get in with us who will have the same opinion. So I think that's what frustrates you more.
So their goal comes in from the free kick, headed back across. Charlie Austin heads it in.
Was he just unmarked? Was he just standing there on his own? It seemed to be wide open, middle of the goal.
Set boys, yeah.
Oh, no.
It's not coming, but...
Charlie Austin seems like he only ever scores against us.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, well, hang on, we're going to have a look at it now. So where's the foul? Where's the lino give the foul here? This is ridiculous. We're watching it live and we're watching this foul. And he got the yellow for that. That's pathetic.
Disgraceful. You watch it, I'm pretty sure he got another angle as well.
Yeah.
Honestly, horrendous. There you are.
You need to edit this into the podcast, Luke. Yeah, he's pulling his shirt. That's a foul. How is that not a foul? Oh, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, that is the most... That's ridiculous.
Absolute ridiculousness. And then the goal itself was...
It's stuff like that, though, that doesn't help, does it? When you're not getting your obvious decisions like that.
Look, we said last week, we've seen some terrible refereeing performances. You can't blame the referee all of the time. You have to make your own luck sometimes. But that was a very, very poor decision, and it was flagged by the lino. The initial shirt pull clearly wasn't seen by anyone. It's rubbish. And as much as I hate VAR... that would have been a free kick to us, not the other way around.
Wow.
Although they wouldn't even look at it, would they? But, that would have been a free kick to us.
Disgraceful either way.
And from memory, again, I just remember standing up in the rubbish stand we were in the £34 gold tickets, and sitting there going, just so deflated. Because you figured, actually, if we had a really good start in the second half, we might have enjoyed it a bit more. But from you just looked up and he was there. He had a free head straight in the middle of the goal. But in the middle of the goal.
Yep. Looking at the rest of the game, apparently we had 16 shots. And look, at the time, I had a lot to drink. I maybe can't remember all of our 16 shots. Well, I do remember a couple of shots just flying over the crossbar and nearly hitting us in the stand.
Maybe 14 of them.
Yeah, but it's just, I don't know. I come away from that game really disappointed with our performance. And I know there was some Luton fans I saw on social media saying like that wasn't as bad as people are making out to be. But what are your thoughts on that, Batara? Because
I wouldn't say it's up there with like one of the most disappointing performances. No, but it weren't great. It was just very poor. I mean, the quality was terrible. Dave, do you mind? But no, it was, honestly, like I said, I personally don't believe it was as bad as people made out it was, but. There was no quality whatsoever. I mean, don't get it wrong. QPR scored with 2 shots on target. That's literally only 2 shots on target the whole game. And apart from that, I don't recall them having another clear cut of goal. I mean, look, if you put the first one, realistically, like say, it could have been defended. I mean, if we came away with that, with a 0-0 draw, we're going a good point on the road, would we not? But obviously, I know it hasn't happened.
Yeah,
but realistically, them 2 of them goals, the second one definitely shouldn't have stood. First one, preventable, massively preventable. You don't concede there, and we could have potentially nicked 1 goal, whatever, and then it's a different story. And then we look at it and go, "Oh, it's a great performance." How many times have we gone away when sort of like the balance is sort of swung in favour of us in that sort of like the aspects that we're on about here?
Yeah.
But if you have what they had 8 shots, so we had double the amount of shots of them, double the amount on target, and didn't convert any of them.
No, I mean, look, I'm not sitting. I won't sit here and personally, I won't say that it's one of the worst performances I've ever seen or whatever. Like I said, I weren't there. I couldn't see the whole pitch. All I saw is from the TV.
Well, but
it's nowhere near as bad as what some people are making out.
I think on the night, again, because of all the crap we had getting in, and because of all the beer we had, well, we weren't overly over the top. But I didn't come away from that thinking we played well at all. Yet then when you but
I didn't think we were going to score. I know we had 16 shots, 4 on target, but I didn't feel confident we were going to get a goal. There's not one stage in that game where I thought we got a chance here.
Well, I get that as well. But I also said to my mate the other, obviously I was watching the pub with. He's obviously a neutral. He's not a fan of either, obviously. So, and I said to him, I said, "What did you make of the game? What's your honest assessment of it?" And he went, "Do you know what? It was just a boring fucking game." That was his words. It's a boring fucking game. He said the quality was poor from both sides, realistically, and it was. It weren't. But you could get games like this in the Championship. You can't go. Obviously, I know we like to expect obviously a little bit better sometimes, and maybe on Friday we should expect a lot better because of what happened and whatever else. But
do you know?
It's not. It wasn't that bad. I don't. Feel.
I think the thing for me is if we just go back. I know we're talking about a different podcast, but he went back to when we were speaking to Mick Harford, and we're talking about how when I turned up for games way gone past, and even in our championship winning year, you go and you think, well, we're going to win today, we're going to score, we're going to create chances. Sometimes when I watch them now, I sit there and go, who's going to score? You'd like to think that Adebayo would score more, but on Friday, I didn't think we were going to get a goal. And I just didn't think it was going to come. The finishing was poor. Yeah, 16 shots.
It was a game of fine margins. That's what it was, realistically.
Well, fine margins or not, if you're not regularly peppering that goal with shots on target and getting at least one goal from it, what's going on with you? What's going on?
Well, I wanted to look today. We had a little chat, me and producer Jacob earlier, and we thought, look, let's look at the attacking side of our game. Why are we being so inconsistent with scoring goals at the moment? And like we said, the stats: 16 shots, 4 on target. Do we have enough quality in the midfield or that attacking midfield role to be consistent in scoring? Because at the moment, we're 1 win in 5. We're, 4 losses out of them, is it?
I think 3 losses.
3 losses, draw and a win. But you look, we didn't score against QPR. We struggled. We didn't score against Stoke. Before that, we beat Middlesbrough, and then we didn't score at Preston. So why is it, when you look at some of the games we played this season, we scored 5 against Coventry, who are flying high near the top of the table. We scored 3 against Middlesbrough. We scored 3 against Swansea. Why is it that one week we can score what seems to be loads against good opposition, to another week just struggling to score against Preston, Stoke and QPR? What is that inconsistency?
If I knew that, mate, I'd be getting paid a lot of money.
Yeah, you would
be. I'm not. But look, I think that's just football, personally. That's what I think. It's just football. And like you said, back to obviously in the middle, I've said it, I think, about 5, 6 podcasts ago. I still don't think. I think our midfield is where we struggle. I've always said this. I think the quality, but I'm not slating them or whatever else. You know, we've got some good players in there, but I think, you know, when you look at it on the balance, it's not there in the middle of the park. And we get split apart too many times in that middle. Just take control of someone, do you know what I mean?
I think it's hard to even think about why we're not converting chances. You know, they're not bad players. They're at the proper level for their ability, most of them. I think it's, you know, a few weeks ago we'd have been saying Cornick misses all the time, but then he started scoring. So what has changed with him? That's how I would say.
Can I just say, I'm sorry, can I just say before, obviously, I didn't mean to interrupt you there, Dave.
That's okay.
What I was going to say was, this by all means, I can't fucking say it. I'm very sorry,
interrupt me if you want.
Try again.
Basically, what I'm trying to say is...
can do it.
In English.
Yeah.
Go for it.
What I'm trying to say is, these are no digs that we're coming out with. I'm still happy with the season we've had so far.
Yeah,
this is no
100%.
dig. In case people are sitting there listening and going, oh, they're just digging at the team now. I will never dig, because I think we're having a good season and whatever else. So,
I don't think we're digging at the team. I think we're just sitting down and saying, why has it changed over the last few games where we've had some really great results and then suddenly we're not taking our chances.
Also, we play some good opposition as well. I mean, we play Stoke, we play QPR. They're not bad opposition.
You've got to play them to do well, haven't you?
Well, yeah. But this obviously where it'll test us as well. And maybe we're not quite at that level where some, obviously, you know...
Well, that's what I said to producer Jacob on the phone earlier. And I said, look, is it maybe the fact that, am I expecting too much? Like, am I expecting too much right now? Because I just said we didn't score against QPR, Stoke and Preston. Why in my head am I thinking we're going to turn up today and we're going to beat every single team we play? Maybe
one, because you're a Luton Town supporter and you have to. But number 2, we have shown that we're capable of doing it. Yeah, and the thing is consistency. Why can't our strikers, you know, if your conversion rate's got to be higher than what we're showing. You know, when Adebayo's on form and he nets 3 or 4, you're going to go, you know, that's where we want to be.
But at the same time, it's also about the service as well. When you get no service and whatever, it's the same thing. But yeah, look, I mean, maybe it's just, I don't know. No one knows what it is. Like I said, you get paid a lot of money. We knew we could pinpoint it. We've been management ourselves.
I wouldn't do that.
Nah.
No, it's not worth the hassle.
Oh, mate, it'd be amazing. But look, it's just football at the end of the day. I mean, you look at some teams. Look at West Brom, for example. Look at them now. They'll pick it back up. But they're in a bit of a shit run at the moment, as well. Well, I say shit run, but yeah, they're not performing to how, you know, the level of the team that they've got, for example. But look, we'll pick it up and we will go on a little run again. Now we will go unbeaten in about 5 or 6 games. That will happen. I think obviously sooner rather than later. And by the way, I'm not crying. I'm just yawning.
Slowly and steadily, we need to just keep racking up the points, making sure we consolidate where we are in this division, and making sure we can push on. And and if it's not this season, next season, make sure that we're a little bit more consistent with the scoring and our strike rate. That's how I look at it.
But we are getting there, though, in terms of balance and whatever. It's just about fine-tuning certain areas of the squad.
I mean, you can pick stats out all the time, can't you? When we said this before, if we have a run where we score 4 or 5 goals, in the next 3 games or whatever, then all those stats look a bit different. And then you can pick up, actually, our strikers are doing really well.
Exactly that.
And I think it is all coming together. Like, we are stronger than last year, I'd say, and as long as we keep getting stronger, and then maybe it's us, maybe I've just got it in my head, lower my expectations. But I just think when the management and the players all talk about, Dave's just spinning his beer everywhere, talk about potentially getting into playoffs, and they know they're good enough to get in the playoffs, and then it's just like the disappointment. Then when you have nights like Friday night and nights like days like last Saturday with the Stoke game, that it's just like, are we all we should just be happy with mid-table. Also, we all want to push for the playoffs, but
I think
we've just got to be realistic here.
Listen, I think
it's competitive as well this season. Very competitive.
Surely any Luton supporter is happy with where we are.
Yeah,
we just want a little bit more. Because if you're not a fan,
you
wouldn't say that, would you?
Do we? We just don't like not scoring for like 3 games out of 4, or whatever it is. That's the thing, really, isn't it?
I mean, try and be realistic, right? If we end up in the playoffs, fantastic. If we don't, as long as we're in the top half of the table, that's a brilliant season.
Let's be honest, we even get in the playoffs and you got a 2-leg semi against West Brom.
Be great, wouldn't it?
I mean, it'd be great, but there's not one Luton fan in the world that going, if we nick the playoff place, would expect us to get to Wembley.
And you know what? And always expect the unexpected, because you know what? There's been teams in the past that have done it. Let's not get carried away. We need our form to get better. We need our goal scoring to get better. We need our strikers to be on form. But you know what? Come Christmas, just after Christmas, and we have that little push, there's always an underdog that pushes up that table. Why can't it be us?
Because we struggle to score.
Well, as long as we don't end up being like Barnsley the following season,
yes, can I just say we're also on a positive goal difference at the moment still, so that's another bonus to take away from the season so far, I think.
True.
Here's what you guys said then about why are we so inconsistent in front of goal, and do we have enough quality in the midfield? Richard says, I think it's become quite apparent how influential KDH was last season. We have no one to put their foot on the ball and look up. Everything seems so frantic on Friday night, which I guess you can kind of agree with. There was a stage on Friday where Pelly's bursting forward and he's got a pass out left. He goes for goal, straight into the stand.
Yeah. Did it even go in the stand?
I don't know. He went somewhere, I just remember thinking, I was angry at him, mate. But I just thought Pataro was going to be fuming with that. But
I think I just laughed, to be honest.
You did say that to me, actually.
Yeah.
Pataro was going to be fuming with that. Yeah.
Well, look, I wasn't surprised.
Roger says, I thought Lansbury was very good on the ball on Friday, and he's been every time I've seen him. He's definitely a level above in terms of passing ability. The frantic putt, in my opinion, came whenever we got anywhere near the box. It was almost like we weren't allowed to enter without shooting. And it was kind of like that panic. It was just, that's what it felt like, a bit panicky, didn't it? And it was just like rushing everything. Then, again, this is what I said to producer Jake on the phone earlier. It seemed like there was no one there just to calm down a little and take a bit of composure when in the final third. And
composure, that's a good word.
But that's what we needed, isn't it? That's kind of what we needed. And we needed someone there to take charge, take lead, and go, you know what? I'm going to completely calm this down, show some composure, and work a proper goal-scoring opportunity instead of just lashing at it. Because that's what it was, lashing at it.
That's a really good description, lashing at it.
Like say Lansbury, for example, he could like sort of like dictate in front of the back four kind of, do you know what I'm saying? He can sort of like, from that, but it's going forward when you've got obviously like, was it Campbell when you had Pelly on, I think slightly ahead of him. Those two, for me, didn't have enough composure, or they don't have enough composure. For example, where a Dewsbury Hall could travel with the ball, he could calm it down, you know what I mean? That's the extra quality, but Lansbury does it from a deeper position, whereas Dewsbury Hall could do it taking it forward, where I don't think Lansbury's quite that kind of player. That makes sense?
Yeah.
But yeah, look, I mean, it will come. Maybe it's just a bit of a confidence thing as well, and obviously changing the team around. I mean, we may change it again on Friday night, so I'm sure it will come.
Ben says, wish we had enough money to get Dewsbury Hall. We're missing a playmaker like him in midfield. Stu doing pretty good, though. luck in front of goal will change for the good very soon, hopefully.
Well, we all hope that. And, you know, Dewsbury Hall was exceptional, but that's why he's at a Premier League team.
Chris says, for me, when we use wing backs, we almost bypass the midfield by either long balls or wide with the wing backs. May as well be playing Ray and Osho holding with Clark or Berry behind the front two. Our midfield is generally so non-existent, and our set pieces are absolutely awful. Bree, for me, has been very poor most of the season. Not helped that he's almost guaranteed starter, as there's no other right back pushing him for his place. What do you make of that?
I quite like Bree.
Yeah, but some of his set play pieces have been pretty poor recently. You know, just delivery of crosses and stuff like that. So I sort of get the frustration there.
You say that, but then he went through that spell where he got a nice assist against Coventry. I think he pulled one back.
He's got 2 or 3 this season, I think.
A few nice little crosses, but I think Friday was just a write-off.
To be honest, I wouldn't even say like. I would say he's been poor for most of the season, though. I say recently, yeah, but I wouldn't say most of the season. I mean, you can look at any of the starting 11, really.
Well, on Friday?
Ask the question.
On Friday?
Well, the last few games, for the last 4 or 5 weeks or whatever. Obviously including the national break, but I don't know.
I still believe Peter Kioso will eventually be our starting right back. I think after this season, if he gets Milton Keynes near them playoffs and has a brilliant year, which I think he's already having. Well,
mate, if he gets them near the playoffs,
don't
fine him.
No, but you know, yeah, I agree with you. If he's doing well there, then we're not going to let him go there, are we? No. We're going to keep him. Who would he rather play for? Do you think?
Whoever he's going to get game time, I'm going to say.
Exactly. So he'll get game time with us if he's proven.
Chris says, the inconsistency question is a mystery, but I guess it's the difference between buying promising, affordable forwards rather than expensive, proven goal scorers. Of our 16 shots, though, I think only 4 or 5 fell to the forwards on Friday, with a lot coming from distance from the midfield. In regard to quality in the middle, we all knew we were one short there, and injuries haven't helped. We need to add a creative threat in January. And I guess, look, we are literally a month away from the January window opening. So do you think that is something we should potentially look at doing this winter, is going out and buying someone like Dewsbury Hall?
Well, let's be fair. Like if Dewsbury Hall was available and he would come to Luton and we could afford him, you'd go get him tomorrow. Yeah, but 100%.
He wouldn't come to us, though.
Oh, do you know what? He might.
Dave, he's playing Premier League now. He came on yesterday. For Leicester. Was it Leicester yesterday? Day 4? Day 4 against Chelsea. Or whoever it was. But yeah, he came on.
Oh, that's
20 minutes. It looks like he's getting a...
Well, why wouldn't he, though? He's a good player. So, yeah, we do need... Can we strengthen? Do we have the money to strengthen? Probably. I think I would go and get a proven goal scorer.
Do you know what? Like I said, it's obviously about bringing in players. I'm not too sure if we need to bring more players in. I just think maybe just tweaking the formation a little bit, maybe getting Clark in the midfield. I'd like to see Clark obviously play a bit more. Obviously, I know injuries and whatever else has kept him out for quite a few games this season, but I just think, get someone like Clark in the middle or in a free or whatever.
I like Clark. I think Clark, for me, when he's on form, is brilliant. Get
Berry back as well. I think when Berry's back as well, Berry starts for me every single week. And I think, obviously, Berry, I think Clark, and I think Lansbury.
So here's one for you, though. And maybe this is me being extremely optimistic and maybe a little bit unrealistic, but not... Because I want us to get in the playoffs. I want us to be going into them final 5 games of the season, only 3 points. I really want us to push for it. Because why not? It's fun. Do you think, if it comes to the window, that whatever business we make will determine if that's going to happen? Like, do you feel like maybe we could maybe make a statement and go sign 2 big players in January that goes, we are going for these playoffs? Or do you reckon they will, like you said, and just go, we're happy with what we got. We're happy for this to be another building season. If it happens with the current squad, but we'll look again in the summer.
Building season. I don't think we're going to go out and spend money on 2, big, well, you say big name players, but, who is out there, big name, that would come to us on the budget that we're obviously going to, what we've got.
Well, that's the job of the people recruiting.
Well, like you say, I mean,
they will know who they want.
Anyway, but I know what you're saying, but for me, I just feel like we're not going to do anything stupid. Just build, if you can bring in maybe...
But I'm not saying go do something stupid, but I'm maybe saying go out and if there is a bit of a price tag on a player that maybe if we left it 6 months, they would get him cheaper on a free. Like, could you experiment and do that now and maybe push?
When you say big player, though, in what sense?
Look, when I say big player, I don't mean like a £10 million player. I mean, go and find someone. Elijah Adabet cost us $250,000.
Well, yeah, in those terms, yeah, finding a gem, that's different. But if you want obviously a proven player or whatever at that level who's done a job, then you're obviously going to have to pay big money for him. Do you know what I'm saying? But,
nice loan, maybe.
Well, a nice loan.
A nice loan. I think that's probably where we're going to
be. Be more loan than anything. But like you say, yeah, if you can find the right player, whatever, for cheap enough, or if there's a player like say in the past that previously who didn't come to us because the club couldn't agree a fee, or obviously hear stories and whatnot, but. Look, we can get him. I mean, it's all about balancing the team now. I mean, we've got a lot of players in that squad as well. A lot of players that we can't accommodate for all of them. Like you say, if a couple of players do go out, then potential, yeah. But to be honest, I can't see it. No, I just see us maybe getting one, maybe two max, and maybe a couple of players moving on. You try and filter through. Like, it'd be nice.
Players. I'd love to get another striker in. I just would love another striker.
I think the biggest call would be a loan. That's the biggest call.
Yeah, actually, talking of strike, yeah. In all fairness, right, Musgrave obviously can play at the top. I'd like to see Musgrave play more through the middle.
Yeah.
And do you know what? Obviously, Mendes Gomez, we're not going to see him, I don't think, much this season. But why don't we give him a chance up top instead of like Karen Jerome or whatever? I mean, nothing against Jerome, but I just can't see him really doing much for us this season. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I'm not saying he's a bad player and whatever, but I think the way
it's just not clicked for him yet, has it?
No, not yet. And obviously,
it was a gamble.
You can't wait
I was just
forever.
thinking, Friday night was calling out for a Danny Hilton performance. It was calling out for that, Who knows? Who knows where we're going to be, but I hope we sign someone to help us push on.
Well, it'll be interesting. No time for Instagram questions today, so what I thought we'd do instead, because look, this has been a very negative podcast, and if you've made it all the way through today without switching it off going, wow, them guys were talking rubbish today, then fair play and thank you.
They'd be agreeing with us, don't worry.
Let's hope the next Saturday we have something to cheer. James Collins returning.
Let's hope against Forest we have something to cheer.
Yeah, that'd be nice, wouldn't it? As I'm going tomorrow, me and Steve.
You enjoy it, mate. It's going to be a good one.
Yeah, well.
Hopefully.
Let's
getting on time.
Have you booked a table at Hooters?
Oh, shite, no, I haven't. Actually, I could do that in a little while. Yeah, I'll do it. I mean, after this, Dave, I'll do it.
Also, this year for the Christmas podcast, I thought it'd be quite fun if us three went out and tried to find our own interviews for the podcast. And then maybe in a month's time, we all get together, have a little watch back of who we've managed to get and see how it goes. Up for the challenge?
Yep. I'm sorted already.
A footballer?
It can be anyone you want, mate.
Porn star,
then. Porn star.
I mean, it's got to kind of be relevant to like this, but if you can make it relevant to this, mate, and you want to go for it, then I'm sure producer Jacob will help you find what you need.
That doesn't say much about bloody producer Jacobs.
Anyway, sorry for being so negative there, everybody. Thank you so much for listening. Let us know your thoughts in the YouTube comments below or the Twitter comments.
Hold on.
Let me know your thoughts.
They're drinking milk.
I've just realised, Dave.
Yes.
This is my pint tonight. Yeah, pint of milk.
Wow.
I'm trying to cut down the beer. I put on a lot of weight recently. Well, recently, last for 2 years.
Right, I've got a great idea who I'm going to interview for Christmas. You want to finish the podcast now? Carry on.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying. Look, go leave us your comments. What did you think of Friday night? Are we overreacting? Was your experience as bad as ours, getting in the ground half an hour late? Let us know what you think. And join us next week. Hopefully next week we'll have 2 wins in a row to talk about and we'll be absolutely buzzing.
Of course we will.
Qatar will have a full 4 pints of milk and we'll be loving life. So thanks so much for listening. Get us on YouTube and Twitter, When the Town, and we'll see you next week.